Trick check. Hello. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. Sorry I'm late. I had some technical stuff to take care of still. Oh, it never works like you want it to work, you know. A tiny little mite there. So these mites, they reproduced in this sample. I'm fairly certain they did. Small ones might be slow enough to follow around. Hello, hello. So yeah, I tried to remove the flare that's in the middle of the screen, but I was not successful. I think I need to like turn some of the lights off. Haha, because the backlight is a strong candidate for producing flares. Yeah, it's not the only thing I tried to take care of before the stream started. That looks better, though. That looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. Angus is here. Hey! How are you? Didn't drown yet? I can up my bitrate a tiny bit. A tiny bit. Haha, pun not intended. Looks like I can go like 10% higher than I am right now. But yeah, I'm still without a fiber optic cable because yeah, it's been raining and raining and raining and raining and raining, and I don't want to keep digging this hole when it's so wet, and it's really, really wet at the moment. So yeah, still no more details in my worm butts and the other things we observe here. But yeah, let's look at the batch of snails that we observed last week. We can see that 5 of them have hatched right here. And hey Nipper, welcome in. So it looks like they ate their way out, maybe? I wouldn't know how they would get out otherwise, to be honest. Do they have an egg tooth on their shells like birds have on their beaks to break out? Looks like a pretty big hole. It looks like it's already... I mean, they are already munching on the capsule. At least this one is. That's in the middle right now. I guess from underneath like that, it would be hard to observe how they do it. Really. Yeah, I think they have a functional radula. Sure looks like it. Or they are just training the muscle. Not sure what they feed on inside the capsule. But I don't see them ripping out of their egg case like Hulk out of his t-shirt. Hulk Hogan, that is. Maybe. Or the Hulk. I guess they all Hulks rip out of t-shirts, don't they? Then again, the question is, why have these 5 already left? Because they have... no, the failed ones are in the other batch. There, you can see those striations on the bottom one. I wonder if those have kind of a gill-like function. You can see it in the mom snail, and in the adults when they crawl over the glass. You can see that. Hey, Durand, Cuba, whatever. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I hope to get the quality further up by getting a better internet connection soon, but yeah, that's a work in progress. I need to find a cable conduit, a buried cable conduit that's broken. So these are, yeah, strange. These are the ones that haven't made it. You gotta eat what's in front of you or die. Yeah, I mean... I would guess that egg cases of snails are like Jello. Neutral Jello, yum! Jello neutral flavor, gray flavor, transparent flavor, Jello, or something. Anyways, the ones that were malformed didn't develop further, or they did because they're still alive. As far as I can tell, they move. Some of them, at least, move around. Like the one here, it's an abomination of an aquatic snail. I don't know why this happened. It might be that... Well, I'm really speculating here. But... So the snail laid its eggs pretty soon after I put it in this sample, in the tube, that is, and it's the only one of the species in here. And the batch with the eggs that are intact, all of them developing normally, is the first batch that it put down. So it might be that it did exchange genetic material with another snail when it was still in the big sample, because there's tons of them in there. And afterwards it put down a first batch and then a second batch where it fertilized them itself. You know, snails are hermaphrodites. I'm not sure if they can, like... It's not parthenogenesis, right? It would be fertilizing their own eggs. So sexual reproduction with themselves, is that a thing? I don't know. But yeah, that's those are my thoughts on the topic. My 2 cents. Anyways, let's see if we can find one of the hatchlings. Copy bot. Ah, I'm still on the zoomed in view. Sorry about that. Haha. No, I can modify it for polarized light. You want to see the snailies in polarized light? We did that last week, but we can do it again, of course. No! Polarizer fell down. Yeah, that's the problem. Do I have a laundry clip somewhere? Yes. Haha. Okay, let me try again. Yeah, dang it. Third time's the charm. So I do have some lateral lights going on, so we don't get complete extinction right now, even if I turn them off. Let me try and turn the other one off. Gotta take the headphones off and walk around. To do that. Probably can't even hear me because I'm far away from the microphone when I do that. Can take the opportunity and wedge in the lens. It's like a mixture of a really nicely made professional machine with machine parts and metal stuff and bearings and all that kind of things. And haywired things like wooden shims and laundry clips holding polarizers. So yeah, there we go. This is as polarized as I can get. Almost. Yeah, pretty much. We get an idea of the rainbow patterns going on in this. Again, I can, of course, remove the dark field stop. Ha! So why is that so bright? Did I mess up? Sorry. Getting frustrated with my polarizer. Haha! I think this... yeah, there we go. Of course, I have to put in the polarizer in the right orientation. Otherwise it won't, we won't get any close to complete extinction. The thumbnail from last week's stream was taken in this configuration, I think. But here we can really, pretty much we don't see the meaty parts anymore. We just see the shells almost exclusively. So we can get not complete extinction, of course, but I'm happy with that. Thank you, Nipper, for the research. That's really awesome to have people that can, that are willing to do a little Googling on the side, because I have my hands kind of full for that. But for those that are watching without the chat, there are some snails that are capable of parthenogenesis, so they can clone themselves basically by laying eggs, unfertilized female eggs. I guess You know, in aphids and other species, I know that the females can lay unfertilized eggs and they have only daughters. But if it's a hermaphrodite laying unfertilized eggs, huh? Is it a hermaphrodite coming out, or can she just no? If a hermaphrodite fertilizes its own eggs, it would recombinate genetic code, so it wouldn't be a clone, right? Oh, Douglas. Hey, when you were a child, you received a microscope. What kind of microscope did you get? You know, a model or something? So that back there, that brown spot in the distance should be our snail mom, right? What's that? Really bright thing. There is one of the hatchlings. Get him in focus. Sitting just right next to mom. Oh man, I don't remember enough from my... I took a plant breeding class while I did my studies, horticultural studies. So I learned all the recombination of genetic material stuff, and there are, of course, also plant species that... we can see the fibers in the tentacles, that they have kind of fibrous muscles, I guess. Muscles? It's not a muscle, it's a snail. A snail's muscles. But yeah, it's rather dark, so maybe... we can try and see if we can observe the muscles from the muscles that actuate the radula, maybe? Can we? Oh. A lot of stuff in the way. This is neither. It's a very small portion of a kind of a resurrection jar. Oh, I mean, I don't. It's a test tube, a big test tube. In the end, the flat bottom. Okay, and maybe a lot of deformed ones? What does your biotech wife think, Kuba? Could the low ratio of intact offspring be an indicator of self-fertilization? Guess that's a kind of a niche question already. Biotech is a big playing field, I guess. But I think I'm gonna take the polarizer out again because it is kind of dark. And go into dark field again. With some lateral lighting. Yeah, plants do very, very weird things, Nipper. Polyploidy, yes, for example. Do you know what, like a common corn, maize, corn plant? The wild, I think the wild species is called Theosynth, and it's diploid, and yeah, if you multiply the chromosomes and make a tetraploid version of it, you get corn. A thing that looks like the wild species is on steroids, and it's like the difference between Hulk and the what's he called, the regular guy that mutates into Hulk. There's some strange stuff in here. Oh no, we missed a hatching! Oh! I'm guessing that the light here also kind of yeah, allows for some for an increase in metabolic rate, so they... Oh, but there... Is there a second one that's like close to hatching? Talking about this one, almost looks like it's well, eating at... I think so, no? We might witness a snail hatching here. Are we patient enough to stay on this snail for a little while? Oh, a newborn. Yes, they are freaking snails, but it kind of looks like it. Well, I guess they eat. Yes, yes. Look at it. That's it. That is it, guys. Oh, this is awesome. You know, when we started the stream, five eggs had hatched, and 2 days ago I checked the sample and it was 4 that were already out there. So it is luck to get them, to get to see them leave their egg, and this is definitely it. And I am a happy camper. Oh yeah, Kuba, but thanks for asking. Tell your wife thank you for the input. Appreciate it. I love when I can, you know, it's a perfect setup if I can learn from you guys. I'm inclined to name this little guy now that I've seen him leave his egg, but I won't be able to know, to find him again in between the... How many other brothers and sisters are there? 5 already out. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah. He has 15 brothers and sisters that... From this batch alone. This one is close to leaving as well, I think. And then, yeah, like I said, I think the light allows for... It will increase the temperature a little bit in the sample, and not just the temperature of the water, but seeing that these snails are, yeah, they are hit by the infrared part of the light source. And there's another one. I think there's another one. It's close to breaking free. Definitely started to work on the shell. So I think, I mean, you guys agree that I should change magnification and we see this hatching in even greater detail, right? I have to do it, even if you're not okay with it. I'm sorry. Gonna play the clip again. So this clip was, yeah, like I mentioned, I think it was around 5 weeks ago, maybe. Okay, let's see what we got. Fleas. No. Where are my snails? Here we are. Right. Okay, where's our guy? Oh, that's the wrong, I think that's the wrong batch of eggs, is it? Yes. That's the right one. Adjusting the aperture to get some, at least some depth of field. Sorry, I'm gonna catch up on the chat real quick. Right now, I think the field of view, if I remember correctly, should be around 2 millimeters. It's close to the maximum. This is the 5x, a layover 2.5 to 5x lens at 5x, plus a 1.4 teleconverter on a 2x crop factor sensor, a micro four third sensor. And there are some macro rings. Oh, there's one, I think a 12 millimeter macro ring. Oh, mommy's coming by to check on her little ones. Is that it? Looks like an eclipse. I don't want to miss this. We definitely have a working radula in these guys. We can see the cilia on the tentacles. At least I can. Oh, we saw it really good on this one just a second ago. At some point I want to include a scale bar, of course, to get you guys an idea of the size of the things we're looking at. But yeah, it's gonna be difficult because I use a lot of different configurations. This lens alone allows for 2.5 to 5x difference which translates to 5x to 10x from the sensor size alone. Oh, did it? I think it's smelling. It's already sticking the head out, is it? I'll try and get a kind of a more lateral view on this. Yes! This is awesome. This is it. Oh, it's pushing against it. I think it's already broke the skin, so it's smelling. Yeah, we can see some fluid coming out. Just a faint shadow of a fluid with a different density or something. Different. Yes! So, don't have to tell you that I can't plan these things ahead. Like I said, 2 days ago there were... Well, during the last 2 days, one of these guys hatched. Come on, you can do it. Push! Honey, push! No direct triggering from your side. No, I mean, light, yes. The sample is seeing more light than during the last 2 days. And that translates to temperature, I guess. Mechanical, definitely no. And biological as well. I didn't put anything in there. No, like enzymes or anything to dissolve the shell. Or didn't change the pH or anything. It just, yeah, I think light and temperature is key. Time, of course, I mean, the time was ripe. Without having seen any extraordinary light, the first 4 had hatched 2 days ago, and in the meantime, 1 more. And now it's getting warmer, but I feel like the others still stay put here. This one hasn't started munching at the back. I'm gonna keep at this one and we can... Yes! And of course the detail probably wouldn't reach you, doesn't reach you. But the tentacles of these things have some serious cilia on them. This is way cool. Yeah, maybe they do feel the camera on them and they want to get out of there because they hate being watched. I'm out of here. There he goes. First time licking the glass. Yum, 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 yum. Okay, so the other ones, I think the other ones have not started to munch on their cases here. Check if you can see something. I don't see any. With the other ones, I kind of saw a fringe of lighter color on, because they could be blocking it with their shells or their bodies. But definitely not all of them. Yeah, a proper glimpse of the cilia. I mean, I hope that when I get a better internet connection, you get to see the level of detail that I am observing right here on my live preview. But right now, I think if I do like this double zoom, and that's a digital zoom, of course, that I can still do, and I get it in focus well enough, you should be able to see that, right? Yeah, I'm only reacting to your message now. There's a hell of a lot of latency as well, because I only have 1 megabyte per second, roundabout. Seems like my internet connection is doing fairly well right now, so I'll up the bitrate a bit. 1.3, dare I put 1.3 megabytes? Right now I'm not dropping frames. Only dropped 6,507 frames so far. That's not a lot for compared to some of the past streams, at least. Okay, I think we've got lucky. We've seen 2 of the snails that are. Let me try and turn it around. Tanks is here! Hey, Tanks! For those of you that don't know, Tanks is a real legend in the aquarium YouTuber community, I guess. You should check out his channel, it's awesome. I don't know what the tongue, which tongue does look human. Snail tongues look human? You think so? I don't know if I would sign that. And hi Perch, by the way. Welcome. Yes, 1.3 megabytes per second. And right now I'm at 1.1, 1.2, so I'm really looking forward to getting some more bitrate. And I don't know why I'm streaming already. I should hold this stuff off until I can show it in proper detail. But I'm just, yeah. too lazy to edit videos, so streaming is kind of the easy way out, to be completely honest. Okay, so we've seen some snails hatch, by the way, tanks and perch, in case you have just joined us. I definitely encourage you to go back in the stream and check that out. It was kind of maybe 5 minutes ago or something. There were some live snail hatchings. I'm very happy with that. But yeah, maybe we'll move along to the next sample and I'll change out the lens again, because we've been looking at snails for a good half hour now, and I don't know if yeah, in case people... I did promise some other stuff in the description already, so yeah. And I can play a little clip again. How about... I think in the sample that I'm gonna show next, there is a... Yeah, there is. There's this worm, a Ketogaster worm. Oh, the copepod goes into the... What is happening here? Is the copepod interested in the empty... No, okay. Just checking it out, apparently. Yeah, there's a Ketogaster worm in the sample that I'm gonna show you next. And I always talk about like these worms that they are predatory, but never on the stream up until... Yeah, never ever have they actually eaten something on the stream yet. So maybe we'll be able to change that today, I'm not sure. However, I have a recording of a Ketogaster worm when it was feeding on some paramecium, on some ciliates. So I'll put that in while I exchange the lens and exchange the sample as well. You saw that? It's really sucking them in. I'm not sure if the snail shell is if the egg casing is full of nutrients, because if it was, it would be an attractive thing for other stuff to eat, and I don't think that's in the snail's interest. I think it's more like just some jello, some really pretty neutrally flavored and not very nutrient-rich stuff. Shouldn't it? I'm not sure. So, let's see. Okay, we're in. Just making sure that I don't run my lens into the sample. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Okay. Ah, there is. There's a worm. That's a Ketogaster worm. That's one of the same species as the one in the clip I just showed. Severely underexposed. Why is that? I don't know. I need to adjust the dark field stop so the background isn't so bright, so my camera exposes correctly. Ah, there he is. Okay. So yeah, I always talk about how these worms are predatory, and they're kind of hard to observe being predatory. Unless there are a lot of ciliates around, because that's what they prefer to eat. I think, oh, there's a small stenostomum or something. So this guy here, the tiny little, what do you call it? It's not a stick. It's a worm just gliding. The thing in the middle of the screen, the small thing in the middle of the screen, is a microturbellid, I think. Hope that's correct. It's a kind of flatworm. A relation of planaria and these platyhelminth dudes that I really like as well. Because he's just doing loopings right now, apparently. Yeah, those are really the micro turbellets. They have like this turbo mode, but I don't know if they are really, well, of course they move several times faster than a planarian in direct comparison or in relation, but I think they have kind of the same top speed in millimeters per second, if you will. Those are just so much smaller that it looks way faster, or it's way more body lengths per second, if you will. But yeah, under real microscope, these are really fun to watch. They can move in very, very mesmerizing ways. Zoom, zoom, zoom. I'll try and go to about double size view again. I don't know if it's really stenostomum or something else. That's very similar. Might be another genus. There are a lot of them there. HD snake game, yeah, kind of. It does locomote by the same manner as the planarians do. It's covered in cilia, like a snail's foot. But it can, yeah, forward, backward, you name it. That's why they are so fun to watch, because they just glide along. And there are some bigger ones. I had a clip on my channel, I think I unlisted that one. But Ralph the Worm was one of the same family. It was microstomum worm, not stenostomum. Strange that microstomum is way bigger than stenostomum, but it's a stenostomid worm, I guess. Yeah, there are some worms that wiggle to move and some that just move. And yeah, I find it really interesting that, evolutionary speaking, these flatworms are like really simple. You have got in the pond samples, or among these pond critters, you have several levels of evolutionary steps incarnate. So you have organisms that have one germ layer, so they have just the same type of cells, and not the same type of cells, but their think their embryos are made up of just one single type of cell. And Hydra would be one of these very, very simple animals that have just one type of cell. Or one germ layer. Another one? No, that's just some fiber. And flatworms have 2 layers. So basically a outer layer, which is the skin, and a inner layer, which is a digestive tract. But they don't have anything in between, no room for organs, or no, not like we do, or like most other, or like not like the other animals, the higher animals do, more complex animals. So the really simple animals have like one germ layer, and that's Hydra, and the slightly more complex, it was a really big step for evolution to take, to move to 2 germ layers, and flatworms would be an example of that level. And I feel like I'm going in circles right now, to be honest. This guy is really just doing circles. Didn't even change direction, doing clockwise circles. Since I'm following him. It's kind of weird. But yeah, these are 2 germ layer worms. And the next step in evolution were 3 germ layers. And the Cheetogaster worm that we've watched earlier does not just only have 3 germ layers. Maybe I can find him again. Which means he has a inner skin for its digestive tract, a outer skin for its skin, and in between they have something called a coelom, so a cavity, a liquid-filled cavity in most cases, housing lungs or any other organs. So we have a coelom, so that's something we have in common with these Cheetogaster worms. But there is one further step that we have both taken, evolutionary speaking, and that's segmentation. So this worm here is an annelid worm, which means that he is segmented, and we are also segmented, like all of our vertebrae are segments in our segmented body, and our esophagus is a segment, just our brain is, I don't know if it's one or several segments, just really weird segments that have really evolved to be extremely specialized and complex. That's something this worm lacks, of course. But he already has a coelom. He has a outer skin, a inner skin, and some room in between for organs. I know there's 2 of these guys in here, so if we're really lucky, there's one. No, there's none. Thought there might be one that's outside of the sediment. The flatman worms lack the coelom. They do have some organelles though. They have kind of worked their way around that, as far as I know. I'm not a real special, I'm not an evolutionary biologist or anything. I can recommend a video from Crash Course. It's actually Hank Green, so the narrator of Journey to the Microcosmos, This guy is really active on YouTube, and he's narrated a video on evolution that's really helped me understand like the differences between a lot of organisms. Yeah, I mean, some of the really simple organisms, even some of the flatworms, they have an inner and an outer layer, but the inner layer doesn't go all the way through. They have to, they eat through the same hole as they poop, which is kind of disgusting to us, of course. To them it's normal. Yeah, looks like these guys like to stay in the sediment today. In aquariums, I know that these worms, they like to crawl around the glass. I don't know if they are called glass worms or window worms. I know they are called Scheibenwürmer in German, which would be a direct translation of window worm. And yeah, those that have watched my early streams might recognize these guys here. These are Cymocephalus vetulus water flea, cladocerans. And yeah, unlike Daphnia that like to stay in the water column and just jump up and down, or jump up and sink down. These guys are much more lazy. They have this different lifestyle. Yeah, Vipete, I know you're in Austria, right, Cuba? Do I remember that correctly? I think you mentioned that on the forum. Compared to how big are these guys compared to Daphnia? That depends on the Daphnia you compare them to. I think Daphnia magna gets like 5 millimeters, which is enormous. These are more like 1 or 2 millimeters maybe. The bigger ones are 2, but I don't have any really big ones in here. I guess this one here is maybe 1.5 millimeters, something like that. So the field of view is a good deal bigger than before. We are at maybe 6-7 millimeters, I guess. Adjusting some things, including the dark field stop. So yeah, you are in Austria. Yeah, na herst. I come from southern Bavaria, or that's where I was born. I live in France now, but Austria isn't that far for me. And I like our southern neighbors, unlike a lot of Germans, I think, but you weren't born there either, I guess. But Austria is nice, and I like the dialect and the countryside there, the mountains, and the cities as well. I've been a lot to Innsbruck. Had a friend that lived there for quite a while, and to Vienna. Vienna is awesome. So I guess these Ketogasterworm are looking for the ciliates that live in the interstitial well, they go wherever they find their prey, basically. They crawl along the window because lots of times there are ciliates on the windows of an aquarium, on the glass. And here what is that blue thingy there? Looks strange. It's true that most European countries hate, in a friendly manner, hate some of their neighbors. I mean, it's a long history of countries having to cope with neighbors. You know how it is with neighbors. It's always complicated having neighbors. Always. Not just as a country. So yeah, but now that you've seen the clip before, you know how these worms feed with the frontmost part being very muscular, and they're able to inflate them like in a fraction of a second and suck in whatever comes in. I'll play that again for the guys that joined us afterwards. Short clip. So there's paramecium. It's in polarized light, that's why it looks so weird. But there's paramecium, and just sucks them in, and they go into the first cavity here. And there's kind of a, I think you would call that a sphincter as well. Separating the first and the second cavity. There he pushes them into the first cavity here, and the second one is probably already the thingy, the digestive tract. Okay. So yeah, it's getting well, it's not really getting late, but we have seen the worms. Actually, I promised to get a good look at these water flea, but they like to hang out in places. They like to stay put. But nevertheless, they are hard to get in frame. Ah, thanks, Cooper. I'll let you know when I go to Vienna again. It's not on the agenda right now, but I might go back. Always liked going there. So let me try and get one of these guys in focus. Oh, and he's off again. Of course. Just always like to watch worms, because worms are so much fun to watch. I can't argue with that. Worms are where the action is. If But yeah, this guy is, yeah, there's some action here too. You can see the heart beating and the bottom of where his back is. So there's like a C-shaped digestive tract. And below that you can see the heart. And yeah, he's really treading the water. Filtering through, you can see some particles being sucked in the front, maybe. I hope so. But yeah, none of the ones that I've seen so far in here have any eggs or babies. This would be another organism that of course can do parthenogenesis, so they can clone themselves by just yeah, they can reproduce without a non-sexual, they can do non-sexual reproduction and clone themselves by laying unfertilized eggs, which they deposit in a cavity that's, well, next to the heart actually. At their back. They have these at the back. Oh. Sediments moving. One of the worms going past maybe. Well, I'm not gonna comment that. For once, you've seen it. This guy's pretty chill. Doesn't move as much as some of his colleagues. But maybe he just had to squeeze real hard. You could just see the foot move, or the foot, I think it's tail, would be more comparable to a shrimp's tail or a Scott's tail. If you compare the body parts, the anatomy. But yeah, I've got one more sample for tonight. Although that one comes from a fountain that's covered in moss. And this moss, unfortunately, this moss produces a hell of a lot of oxygen. At least I'm under the impression. Yeah, they do everything on camera, Nipper. They don't know no shame. What do we have here? A teeny tiny ostracod, is it? I think so. Yeah, I'm gonna... ostracods, apropos. If anyone is looking for wrist jars or microscopy samples, I've been to a hardware store, I would call it, I guess, or something similar. It's a hardware and garden supply kind of thing, and they have like a aquarium section, but that's kept pretty sterile. I guess they use deworming medication regularly and stuff to keep it clean and healthy, in parentheses. But they have a pond plant section outside as well. And I have sampled this week because it's full, it's swarming with ostracods. It's really busy with ostracods. and quite a big species. So that's probably something we're gonna have a look at next week. And yeah, tonight we're gonna look at the moss samples still. But the moss producing that much oxygen, it's a habitat that harbors life that's dependent on high concentrations of oxygen and very clean water. So if these life forms don't take kindly to putting them in a small test tube and letting them sit for several days at room temperature, so there is limited activity. But I'll let you see for yourself. So I'll play a little. The ostracods, how big? I think they probably 2 millimeters, so not enormous, but there are some that get 3 millimeters. I think I'll look up my book in a minute. Playing a clip again. So this is a rotifer. It's something that has been on the stream already, I think, but not at this magnification, because it's kind of hard to find these things when you have a strong magnification on the camera. And I think I'm gonna go and take the opportunity to use the toilet real quick. And I'm gonna leave you to the sample for just... Yeah, my cat wants to leave as well. I'll be back in a minute. Okay. I'm back. Euclanus trichitra. You think? I thought it was a Brachionis, but I'm not. You might be right, actually. I think you're right. Trick. It does have a threefold symmetrical body. Okay, this is the moss sample, and the number of ciliates here already indicates that the water quality is not the same as it was when it was fresh. And there's an ostracod! Haha! it's probably one of the ones that I was just talking about, because to make things a little more interesting, just before I put the sample in, I threw one floating plant into the sample as well to make it a little more lively, and it's something I haven't observed yet. This floating plant is new to me. It's a floating fern, it's called, I think. Salvinia natans, I want to say. Oh, water mite. A water mite. So this is the other type of water mite. You know how these water mites that we've seen last week, for example, they move non-stop? Well, this type of water mite here might be a nymph, I'm not sure. Anyways, it's it's not as mobile. Well, this one might be dead, but if they move, when they move really slowly. This looks dead, actually. Yeah. Let's see what else we can find. A dead rotifer. Is it? Sure looks like one. Is it really dead? Oh, spectacular microscopy. Dead stuff in a jar. But yeah, these the fountain from which I took this is not a fountain where the water is pumped around in circles, but it's one of the kind of fountains where there's a well and the fountain is fed from the well and it's just flowing through. And that means that the water quality is really kind of special, so it's always fresh water, really fresh water. That's a small, is this Ilosoma maybe? Kind of has this flattened mouth. I know from Ilosoma. Don't see the dots. Ilosoma is dotted, usually, I think. But that might be a lighting thing that we can't see the pigmentation. Anyways, these are the roots from this Salvinia floating fern. And it's the first time I'm looking at these in my setup. And I gotta say, I'm quite happy with those. They look almost like one of these worms that have like their setae, or their, some of them have gills, some of the worms sticking out from the posterior segments. Let's see. So there's a chironomid larva, I guess. This red thing. Bloodworm. Oh, and it's still alive. Well, nice. Something I have no idea what it is, you know, these stalks here underneath the... Sorry, I'm moving the mouse around, so everything is shaking a bit. These needle-like structures on the moss leaves. I'm not sure if aquatic I don't think it's a... Nipper, I'll try. I'll try my best to do that. We'll see how much we can see. But these ones have structures on the top that help them float. I'm fairly certain. But this is part of the moss, and these needle-like structures, I don't know if they are part of the moss or if they are something else. I just know they look freaky. Okay, so let's look at the leaves. Ah yeah, this is the top of the leaf visible here, I think. So they have these small, what would you call those? They're not thorns, they are just a lot of bumps, pointy bumps, maybe. Would be a good term for that. On the top, and it looks like they have, or is that part of a root? No, it looks like the underside is densely covered in hairs as well. Try to get a little lower perspective. Just takes a second to change that. It's the slowest movement on my machine. I almost never use it. The one that changes the inclination. And I have to adjust the dark field again. Also getting more prone to flares, I think. Out of focus. So right, teeny rotofilm. A copepod of a non-cyclops copepod. Most of the copepods we see are cyclops, but it's really dark right now, so I don't know if you're able to make that out. So the top surface of the leaf has really a lot of surface area, and the bottom surface, I don't know, here I can't see any hairs, but it's hard to tell. Let's see. Maybe over here. Yeah, it's really hard to tell what's root and what isn't in the end. That's the problem. Thanks, Snipper, for the what is that? It's part of a copepod as well? No, it's part of a midge, okay. Insect larva. I'll look that up. I don't have the... I know that moss has a funky life cycle with kind of like liverbirds and stuff, right? And right here, it does look like it's the underside of the leaf that's covered covered in hairs. But yeah, the leaf position isn't really allowing for a good observation. I do have the... I'll reposition one of my lamps and see if I can get some light underneath there. Bang, bang, bang. And something that most of the time helps as well is when I turn the backlight off. Well, let's see. We might be able to get a somewhat better look like this. Are there floating plants with super clear floaty air cavity structures? That's not a root, right? Yeah, here the leaves are still folded up, right? That's still folded together. So I think these hairs are the floating structures. It might be that they are. Thanks, Cuba. Good night. I'm gonna call it night soon as well. Not a lot left to see, I guess. Just trying to find out some yeah, I think it's those are hair covered, at least when they're young. Because yeah, we're looking at the underside of the leaf here. That balloon-like structure is a leaf that's not yet open. And yeah. So right, I think we have seen... oh no, we haven't, because I see with my little eyes. Is it? What is that? I thought there was a enormous paratrick here, but I think it's something else. What is that? Yeah, I'm gonna call it a night. It's getting late. I have to get up tomorrow. A lot of you guys, in Europe at least, have to as well. So, my condolences. Oh, this is really hairy, this thing. It's like bearded. Should shave. Really? Oh, that's because I'm in the zoomed in view and it's really small. Okay. Yeah, let's see what next week's samples have in store for us. I'll try and get a fresh sample from a real natural body of water. Or maybe we'll look at some scuds, amphipods, or some isopods or something. I don't know yet. I'm kind of deciding these things spontaneously. It continues raining like this. I don't know if I'll be able to take a good sample, because if all the natural bodies of water are beyond their natural size, It will be hard to access good sampling spots, I guess. Yeah, I mean, if Mondays weren't like they were, it would be this Tuesdays. I'm quite certain. There's some catch to it. So did the music stop, right? I think the music stopped. That can't be. Really can't be. Didn't really look at the moss right now, but like I said, moss kind of reached its limit. There are a lot of these chironomid-like fly larvae in here, but a lot of them have perished because, I guess, because the oxygen content dropped too far. Or some other temperature too high or something, because the temperature in this fountain is pretty high, pretty low, of course, with the constant constant water exchange with fresh well water. Okay, so dear viewers, have a nice evening, good night, thanks for watching. I hope you had some fun, I sure did. Didn't expect some live snail hatchings tonight, but hey, we got lucky. Hope to see you next time. I actually recorded the snail hatching. Might put that up as a regular video somewhere, or as a short maybe. Should I do another short? I hate shorts, so I'm inclined not to.